Hello, it's me, Jarrett Casey, Jarrett Earl Casey, whatever. It is. I usually wait. I get this one person that logs in whenever I stream. It is September 6th, 2020, 8:56 p.m. Once again, I'm Jarrett Casey. I just got home from my parents' place up in Ogden. We were celebrating Labor Day today, so we have to work. Well, my mom and I have to work tomorrow, and so we decided to do it today, and it was fun. We just had my mom made some steaks. I just had a little piece, like maybe 2 ounces of steak, and then the rest just side dishes. But it was good. I've lost, I think, a couple more pounds, which is great. I think I'm down 13 or 14 pounds in the last 8 weeks. So I feel good about that. Although the last week I haven't been quite as good at eating healthy, so I've got to rein that in. But yeah, and so now it's today. I guess I wanted to talk. I was gonna start doing this live feed from my phone, but I guess YouTube doesn't let you do that until you have 1,000 subscribers. So I don't have any. And so I apologize. What I wanted to do was I wanted to apologize for the quality on this webcam. This laptop is not brand new or anything, and so I know it's not the best quality, and so I apologize. I would love in the next year to try and get a new Pixelbook, and then this could be better quality. But until then, we're gonna have this quality, and so I apologize for that. So anyways, I also wanted to apologize for the last couple days. I haven't done one of these. I worked a double both of those days, and I was just exhausted when I got home, and I just went straight to bed. So I apologize. I'll try and work on that as well. Today was my 20th day on the 40-day program for transformation with Lisa Natoli, and so it was nice. We're halfway there, and she even said today, just basically great job. It's if it hasn't been perfect for you up to this point, that's okay. Just use this as a minute to revisit your commitment, which I don't remember where I put my commitment letter. She had to sign a commitment letter just saying that no matter what, we would do the 40 days. And so I have kept that. And I want to see if I can, it's right here. So we're going to revisit that right now. So it says, I, Jarrett, will complete all 40 days no matter what. And for 40 days, I commit to watching myself like a hawk and paying close attention. I notice the thoughts I'm having. I notice the feelings and emotions I'm experiencing. I notice the stories I tell about myself and others. I notice the words I say. I notice the words that come out of my mouth. I notice when I want to fix, change, or control a person or situation. I notice when I'm criticizing, condemning, judging myself or others, holding a grievance, or gossiping. I notice the conversations or voices going on in my head. I notice when I'm focusing on the past and thinking about the future. I acknowledge a presence and power in my life that is God, divine intelligence, Christ, Holy Spirit, Jesus, higher power, peace, love, spirit, and commit to developing a relationship with Him. I commit to 30 days, 30 minutes per day of focused, quiet time with no distractions for listening, journaling, prayer, and meditation. And I count this as that 30 minutes. And I hope that's okay. But I do need to start doing more. Oh, this is so hard for me without like a structured, I don't know. It's hard to do alone. I know that I'm not alone. And I think I'm doing a great job. it's just more difficult when you don't have any people to join with. That's okay. That's okay. I commit to rearranging my schedule to make time each day to do this 40-day work. I do it in the mornings. With one exception, I think I did it in the evening. Watching the video, reading the daily message, practicing and applying each day's lesson. I understand that transformation can sometimes be disorienting, confusing, and chaotic. I commit to continue with the 40-day program no matter what emotions come up and no matter what situations occur, I'm all in. I signed it and dated it August 16th. And when she first started the thing, she goes, "You can't do this wrong. There's no right or wrong way to do this. So even if you seem to make mistakes or you're really struggling with the concepts that are coming up, just keep going, just finish the program. If you've finished all 40 days, you've lived up to your commitment." And so I've definitely been struggling with some of those things. But I'm just still going. And we reached the 20-day mark. And she said, "Well, wherever you're at, whatever mistakes you feel like you made, first of all, you're doing a great job. You're perfect. All of that is perfect. You're perfect. And use this as a day to kind of reset and we'll just get through the next 20 days." So that's kind of like I slacked on this for the last 2 days. I still haven't done any meditation. I don't know. I have this aversion to it for some reason, but I'll try. And of course, there's all these voices in my head that keep wanting to say I'm not good enough. Sometimes they're very encouraging. They're talking a lot right now about that I've pissed people off, I guess. And so that's upsetting. They keep saying I'm being punished, which is why no one's talking to me because of who I am, is what they say, which I don't understand because I know I'm a perfect child of God. But and also they keep talking about, this is going to sound crazy, but we're just going to talk about it. They keep talking about celestial inheritances and awakening committees. And so basically they're saying that I have an inheritance that's owed to me, but or that's due me, or that's mine. It's already mine. It just hasn't been given me, or it doesn't seem so yet. And that the reason why is because I'm awakening. So they've claimed a few things. So I know I've said for the last 14 years I've struggled with addiction, and so my addiction was with methamphetamines. And so first they claim that the reason I was being denied is because I awakened on methamphetamines, which is not true. Although I was struggling with that addiction during that time, and I believe I've awakened via a decision of the Holy Spirit. And also, because of a higher calling or purpose. And although I was also struggling with that, I think that I would have awakened either way. But anyways, they say when you awaken on meth that you are completely denied. They've even claimed that if you awaken on meth, that they try to drive you to suicide, which was something I was experiencing for quite a while. They kept telling me to kill myself, but I just didn't listen to them. Sometimes I get upset and I'd be like, "No, you kill yourself," which probably wasn't the most Christ-like response. And it was just where I was at. I was very confused and very angry. It's really hard when people are in your mind telling you that day in and day out. And so sometimes you lash out. Anyways, then they told me that it's because I'm not good enough. My credit's not good enough. I'm not good looking enough. They've said that they've tried to claim that I'm all these terrible things that I'm not. They say I'm too controversial. They say it's because I'm gay. Just any reason. Someone says they sound a lot like the adversary, which is so true. They do sound like that. So I just have to keep forgiving that they keep saying those things to me. And it's not that I have also heard very encouraging things from other voices and from within, of course. And sometimes some of them actually come around and start being encouraging, but it's an election year, and of course people inevitably bring up politics, and my politics aren't popular with them. They say they're very conservative. I'm a registered Democrat, and I do get concerned with what I see, what I would, see going on in the country. And so when the conversations go to that, I voice my opinion, and I have been critical of the president. And so they get very upset at that. And generally, when conversations go to those places, I start to experience more backlash from them. So it's like, we'll be fine, things will be going well. And then one of those conversations will happen, and then they get really upset with me. And so they start to lash out at me. So anyways, they're saying that, because of all of those things, that I cannot be treated equally to someone else who may not be those things. And that's why they are imposing this sort of punishment on me, this kind of psychic punishment, this denial of service, and very critical approach to supporting me through my awakening, which is not actually supportive. But I think the way they have chosen to see the world in a very kind of dark and manipulative sort of lens, that it checks the box, like, well, technically we're supporting him. Technically, he's getting the help he needs because he's not a very good person. So this is the kind of help he gets. And so now he's getting the help he needs as per our judgments. Which is a very weak argument, and it's a losing point of view, but it might be the one, I guess, that some people hold. And that's part of this journey, that they'll have to learn how to let go of that and start treating people equally and equitably, and be more gentle, kind, and guiding and loving in their pursuits, in their assistance, and in their care for their brothers and sisters, and the great responsibility they take on in being part of an awakening committee. So we've been talking about that, and then the inheritance, which they claim is all these different things, and who knows, but it'd be really cool to get an inheritance. It'd be very helpful. I don't think just for me, I think for many, many people, but anyways, so that's what we've been talking about, and that's what's been going on. That's why I've been absent the last couple days, so I apologize. So other than that, things are going pretty well. It feels good to have talked about that, so thank you. My family is doing well. My mom, I did go for a long walk this morning. I started out for a run, and then I walked through Ogden, and she did, when I got back, she got a little, she thought maybe I had been using, and so I'm like, no, I haven't been using. And so that upset me a little bit, or I experienced some upset after she said that, and so I had to deal with that, but I was able to let it go. Just sort of, I felt a little like, I can't believe she would think that when I just was out walking. But I was gone for a while. I went all the way around the East Bench, and then to downtown and around and back up, and so it took a long time. But I was just kind of showing off the city in my mind, because I do love Ogden very much. It's a beautiful hometown. I'm so proud to be from there. And I'm so happy that my parents live there still, so that I can come visit. So yeah, that was today. Yeah. So that's what's going on. I'm trying to think what else is going on here that we've been talking about so much. We talk about it so much. What are you doing? Cat's being crazy. So yeah, let's continue. We took a break from this as well. So this is chapter 3, the innocent perception, and this is section 2. It's called Miracles as True Perception. So Jesus tells us, I have stated that the basic concepts referred to in this course are not matters of degree. Certain fundamental concepts cannot be understood in terms of opposites. Very important. So some people, they learn a concept and they're like, wow, that's amazing. That's crazy. And then in that understanding of that concept, because of the sick mind where you have love and fear, right? And we kind of go back and forth between them, where you have like good and evil, or you have light and dark, and people associate each of those things with one another, which is not really true. Which, I mean, evil doesn't really exist, not in the real world, not in a real existence. We only allow it to here, and we fear it. That's why it's in fear. And people sort of associate darkness with fear and evil. When I like to think of it as things like space is darkness. The ocean, um, many parts of the ocean are very dark. People have dark skin. We wear dark clothing, or we decorate with dark colors. People have dark eyes sometimes. Or some people will just, I don't know, maybe they prefer a dimly lit room. I like rooms that have lots of natural sunlight. That's where I feel most comfortable. But some people are like, oh, it's too bright, they want to be in a dimly lit room. And so it's like, what's wrong with them? Like, why? There's something wrong with you. You should like really like bright and lit rooms. And so we associate badness with darkness, and that's just simply not true. And anyway, but people, they'll understand a concept and they'll be like, wow, that's amazing. And then they'll think, okay, well, if this is true, then this is true. And they'll try and apply the same concept to the opposite and make that true. And then they start to get scared, right? Because they're placing it into fear, which means they're going to start being fearful of it. Things like the limitless nature of God or God's Son, or of the abundance that's available to us when we shift when we shift into love, or that some of us seem to experience even before the world has shifted into love, to help facilitate shifting it into love. And they think, oh, that's so amazing. But if all this bountiful abundance, joy, and love is available in a limitless amount, then the opposite is also true. And they start to get really scared and fearful of all the terrible things that could happen in this universe, or to them, or if something changes, right? And then they get paralyzed right where they're at. And even though they're being offered the abundance of basically the kingdom of heaven, they can't seem to take that first step into receiving it because they're so scared of the opposite. When really, the world that we live in is as close to opposite of that as there already is. This is such a fearful world. It's a beautiful world. It's perfect. And there's so much love here, and all the people here are just perfect, especially as they step into their light. That gets more and more natural for them to be aware of and to exist in, and for everyone to see, including themselves. But it's always true. So it's very heartbreaking to witness what goes on here. Even if it's just people being scared to move or to do the right thing or to step into their light or their truth, or follow Christ's teachings or guidance because they're afraid of this or that or the other. It's so painful. It's not painful, it's just very difficult to witness. So Jesus says, the basic concepts in this course are not matters of degree, and certain fundamental concepts cannot be understood in terms of opposites. It is impossible to conceive of light or darkness or everything and nothing as joint possibilities. They are all true or all false. It is essential that you realize your thinking will be erratic until a firm commitment to one or the other is made. A firm commitment to darkness or nothingness, however, is impossible. So here he does talk about how darkness is nothingness. I'm letting you know that I see things that seem to be dark or come from darkness as not nothing, as something. I'm not talking about anything bad. I'm talking about just pure love. But I guess he knows that people associate that. So oops. I'm like, you're wrong. Anyways, no one has ever lived who has not experienced some light and something. Okay, so there we go. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about all the light. It just, yeah, anyways, might be perceived as being from darkness. That's probably a better way to put it. Like, then it's not darkness. No one, therefore, is able to deny truth totally, even if he thinks he can. Innocence is not a partial attribute. It is not real until it is total. The partly innocent are apt to be quite foolish at times. It is not until their innocence becomes a viewpoint with universal application that it becomes wisdom. Innocent or true perception means that you never misperceive and always see truly. More simply, it means that you never see what does not exist and always see what does. When you lack confidence in what someone will do, you are attesting to your belief that he is not in his right mind. When you lack confidence in what someone will do, you are attesting to your belief that he is not in his right mind. So this is what I have to work on, because I really lack confidence in some of these voices I hear, and I lack confidence, I think, in some of the people who are in positions of power. So that's me attesting my belief that those people aren't in their right mind. So I know that in truth, in reality, those people are all in their right mind, and that's what we're trying to shift into. So I have to start trying to see them that way, even though it's not that what we're seeing with our eyes isn't actually happening. I mean, isn't. Have you ever heard the saying where people go, so you're telling me not to believe my eyes and just to believe you? Like you're flipping them off. And then they're like, you're flipping me off. And you're like, no, I'm not. And they're like, oh, so I'm supposed to just believe you and not the fact that you're just flipping me off, right? So some people might equate this to that. I wasn't flipping you off, by the way. I was just giving you an example. That it's hard. We read in the media and all these terrible things are happening. People might be being murdered, like Breonna Taylor or George Floyd. There's scary things going on, whatever. And so when we see people that we see as responsible for those things or responsible for people's safety, especially people in leadership roles or the police or, just people that we see as responsible for keeping safety, keeping people safe, guaranteeing their freedoms, as responsible. And so we start to lose confidence in them and saying, when you lack confidence in what someone will do, you're attesting to your belief that they're not in their right mind. So now we're saying they're not in their right mind. They're not in their right mind. And so he says, this is hardly a miracle-based frame of reference. It also has the disastrous effect of denying the power of the miracle. It's also hard because we also feel like that's being done to us, right? Maybe we're being oppressed, we're having our freedoms taken from us. A lot of people are being targeted or victimized or something. And so it's like, well, they're not being confident in us or what we can do. And they're attesting that we're not in our right mind. When that's hardly a miracle-based frame of reference. So we're playing this back and forth of finger pointing. And I keep reminding myself, like, okay, I know all this seems to be happening. And I mean, it seems pretty real. And I understand that people's freedom and their safety is of utmost importance. So important that everybody be safe and free, that they be really cared for by all of us, and affirmed and uplifted and given positive, comforting, warm, loving, caring messages to help them start to see the world that way and themselves that way, and to know that those things are true. And that's all very helpful in facilitating miracle mindedness. So I'm like, okay, and I know that's true even for the people that I feel like aren't doing a good job. So it's like, okay, I've decided to be supportive of them. I love them. I know that they're good people. I know they are in trueness, in reality, and I know that I want them to know that that's true. I want them to know that I love them and support them. Okay. Although maybe I'm disappointed sometimes in some decisions they've made, or what they seem to be doing or not doing. I still want to say, I love you. I believe in you. I know you can do this. We're in this together. We're one. I see you as myself. I try to put myself in your shoes and think what I would do, or think how you might feel. And I want to have compassion for you and where you're at. And it's so important that we honor people's freedoms and we keep them safe, and that we fight, that we're vigilant for these things. Because those are the same principles that operate within, like, the kingdom of heaven, that people are free, they're safe, they exist in abundance and equality and all these things. So, and that's a lot of the things that we built this country on. So if we can more truly realize the principles we built the United States on, we get closer and closer to that type of existence. And so that's all very important, and we have to be vigilant for that. And when you seem to make mistakes, that's okay. I forgive you. I love you. I support you. I see you as perfect. And it's just so important that we keep reminding each other of the importance of these things. So it's hard in times of transition like these to, like, balance both. And that's what I keep trying to do. And so thank you for letting me talk through this, because I wasn't doing that very much today. I was being very critical. And I'm sorry. So the miracle perceives everything as it is, as it truly is, right? If nothing but the truth exists, right-minded seeing cannot see anything but perfection. I have said that only what God creates, or what you create with the same will, has any real existence. So someone might say, so if I see someone doing something terrible and I have true sight, then that's perfect? It's like, no. No. True sight is seeing that these people would never do something terrible, and helping them realize that, helping them see themselves and each other that way, so that terrible things just stop happening. They just disappear. You just see it the whole time. And you see your own role as being able to help them also see that, and help that spread more and more through each of us choosing true sight. So this then is all the innocent can see. They do not suffer from distorted perception. You are afraid of God's will because you have used your own mind. which he created in the likeness of his own, to miscreate. The mind can miscreate only when it believes it is not free. An imprisoned mind is not free because it is possessed or held back by itself. Therefore, it is therefore limited, and the will is not free to assert itself. To be one is to be of one mind or will. When the will of the sonship and the Father are one, their perfect accord is heaven. Nothing can prevail against a Son of God who commends his spirit into the hands of his Father. By doing this, the mind awakens from its sleep and remembers its Creator. All sense of separation disappears. The Son of God is part of the Holy Trinity, but the Trinity itself is one. There is no confusion within its levels, because they are of one mind and one will. This single purpose creates perfect integration and establishes the peace of God. Yet this vision can be perceived only by the truly innocent. Because their hearts are pure, the innocent defend true perception instead of defending themselves against it. Understanding the lesson of the atonement, they are without the wish to attack, and therefore they see truly. This is what the Bible means when it says, when he shall appear or be perceived, we shall be like him, for we see him as he is. The way to correct distortions is to withdraw your faith in them and invest in only what is true. You cannot make untruth true. If you are willing to accept what is true in everything you perceive, you let it be true for you. Truth overcomes all error, and those who live in error and emptiness can never find lasting solace. If you perceive truly, you are canceling out misperceptions in yourself and in others simultaneously. Because you see them as they are, you offer them your acceptance of their truth so they can accept it for themselves. This is the healing that the miracle induces. So if we just see each other as perfect children of God, as one with one another, as one with him, as light and love and joy and spirit, we obviously we accept that that's their truth, and we offer that acceptance to them and telling them that, and choosing, even though it may be whatever, we keep coming back to that. We keep wanting them to experience abundance, to experience forgiveness, to understand it and see it put into practice in their lives. We don't want to see them punished or have their lives taken from them or have them be made separate or less than or damned or anything like that. So we don't want those things for them. We want them to be happy, joyous, and free. So when we offer them that vision for who they are, that truth of who they are, they can start to accept it for themselves. And in accepting it for themselves, they're also offering it to everyone they see. And when you accept that, your behaviors start to change. And a lot of the more damaging things that people do start to just go away. And then the mind still, as you're still working on it, and sometimes you might start to be like, oh, and then it's like, oh, wait a minute. That's not who I am. That's not who I am. That's not what I do. And I don't know. I think we just have to keep offering each other that truth and helping each other see that it's true for one another. And the more we join hands in this, I think the more powerful it can be. So anyways, that's where I'm at with this. Tomorrow is perception versus knowledge. Oh, I just want to tell everyone, well, everyone, there's one person watching. Some people may never watch, but they might. Granted, this really is just a journal. It's for I made it public. So if people, I'm trying to open up my life and share it with my brothers and sisters, that I might share the benefits of my life with all of them. Yeah, because that's what we do with blessings and with who we are. And so I've opened this up too, but I understand people may never really see it. It still helps just to get it out. Put it out there to the universe. And anyways, so I love you and thank you. And this is like, I hope you have a wonderful night. And tomorrow I'll definitely be back. I'm going to get back on the bandwagon. Sorry that I missed for 2 days. But let's just, if you're out there and you're struggling, hold on, keep moving forward. The struggle isn't real. I know it's like, oh, the struggle is real today, but it's not real. Real life is coming for us. We're moving toward it. It's perfect. It's boundless, limitless. It's pure and perfect love and light and joy, and it's all yours, and it's all mine. It's all of ours. We just have to start seeing that for one another, believing in that, even though the world seems to be such a dark place. Reminding each other of that, remembering that, sharing that message, seeing that, and energizing that. And when we forget to, or we make a mistake, we get upset. We start to slip from that knowledge. Just bring it right back. It's okay. We all do it. Just forgive yourself, release it, offer it up for healing. Say, take this doubt away from me. I don't need it. Replace it with your pure love, and just come right back to that knowledge, because it is true. It is true. Anyways, I was gonna say, I say this in the name of your Son Jesus Christ, amen. But that, because sometimes I pray similar to this. But anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I love you, and thank you.